Let's see. Okay, I think we're good. Hey, y'all. Josh Greathouse here. You know me, creator of Bang the Battle of the Tiger. Volume 3's coming out soon. So, I got invited from Omar from Near Mint Condition to talk about my favorite reads. And mine was Bernie Wrightson's and Linda Weems' Swamp Thing. Just absolute gorgeous collection. Can't recommend it highly enough. I started off, though, I was lucky enough, I own this, the Wrightson Frankenstein collection. And man, like just gorgeous art. I've owned this for years. I'm glad I picked it up because especially it is sold out. I don't know if it'll ever get reprinted, which is it's beyond a shame. Like it should be something that's always in print. Always like even if you can't do this big library edition, like give. I mean, look at that. You know, this should be the de facto edition, especially. Oh, I gotta show that off. I mean, look at that. But like the reason why, I hope we get an artist edition of this one day. But like that, yeah, that spread. That's owned this for years. Loved it. The problem with just owning that though, you miss out on a lot of rights and stuff. And luckily this year, Batman the Cult got printed. Never read this before, and man, this made me want to read more Wrightson comics, especially between his paneling, his imagery. Like it's just some great fun stuff. So I got lucky, and yeah, through a little bit of just happenstance, was able to pick up this. And man, this became my read of the year. So I'm not going to show off the whole thing. There's other channels for that. I just want to kind of wax on about this and show off some fun moments. So let's get into it. Like I said, y'all, this was my favorite read of the year. I just want to wax a little bit more on it and kind of go over what to expect with this. It's a great collection. I highly recommend it. It covers the first 10 issues that were done by Bernie Wrightson and the first 13 by Lynn Weem. But what I want to talk about today is I do want to talk about this. Like, man, there's like the beginning of this, just some striking imagery. And this really, like, we know Swamp Thing as, he becomes his own character, own unique individual. At the beginning, though, he definitely just feels more like a substitute like for Frankenstein's creature, which is not a bad thing because this turns into Universal monsters versus Universal monsters. What I want to talk about is issue 3, the Patchwork Man. So the thing I love, one, and this looks like straight out of EC, which is smart. And I love moments like this where it's like we think we know, then after you read and you look back on this, you're like, oh, that's what this is about. But I'm not going to spoil anything. And also, man, the great use of like colors. Like this is such a great cover. So we start off some unique title lettering, but also Swamp Thing overlooking the city, and just it's kind of crazy because like with hi Abs, with hi Abby, with towns like this, like the other fun thing with Swamp Thing, it's supposed to take place in the 70s, but it feels like he goes back like 200 years or so. But he's up in this fantastic castle overlooking the city. And here's like a vertical panel like this is always hard to do. Because the trick is, it's like, well, what's stopping us from going like this? Like subconsciously. A lot of people have to do arrows. What's nice is he does visual tricks. So you read this, but it's like the smoke brings you back up. This brings you here. These stairwells bring you here. This brings you here. Wham, bam, bam. And it's moments like that, just that simple, clean storytelling. And here's the other thing I love. We start off with a vertical, horizontal, 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 vertical, vertical, vertical. Just amazing stuff. Highly recommend it. Got your, talking heads talking about what happened prior. What's what's crazy though is like I said, it feels like this town is ancient. And that's one thing I miss about like I don't know, this like the newer world we live in, the 20th century, year 2025. It's like, yeah, it's there's no there's no ancient towns like this. Everyone's got computers, everyone's got cell phones. So, we're connected, but we do lose certain things. The other thing I love, he does these quick reactionary shots that are like found in manga. And then like all this texture just to get that. It's so brilliant. And the colors on this too, like I talked about in the book, a little light gray. Man, these colors are doing so much work. And that little bit of blue to anchor our eyes, but also kind of give a temperature because it's like this wouldn't feel as hot without these cools. And here's the page, yo. Like I said, this had me stunned. Ugh. And just the line work to the shadows. Like I said, it's a simple trot, but man. Yeah, this was definitely, you could see where he did Frankenstein. Like, it's quite evident. I mean, just some gorgeous stuff. And it's interesting because it's like, uh, him as a human, he was never as clever as his brother. And it's him trying to, like, undo the mess. And he's just clumsy. He doesn't realize, like, how grotesque his new body is. And like I said, I love this. We now know this is what he sees in his mind. It's him remembering the past. So to him, he doesn't see Abigail the woman, he sees Abigail the child. So he's trying to protect his niece. Swamp Things come out. Classic monster fight. You gotta have the big. It's a comic, it's a DC comic. You gotta have some fighting. I do love this with the mob with the purples, but like just a great shot. Kind of showing the stakes. And now here's where it gets fun. He's about to hit like, Impotent Child. The like just the use of blacks and shadows and that punch, like that is a punch, yo. And I would never think to do this with a border down here. It's such a great touch, and I love it so much. Abigail falls, and it's it's like, well, it's kind of the whole like he still loves his niece. He's going to do what's best for her. And I love this too. Like like Swamp Thing, we know, but once again, the camera's still showing him coming, this looming threat, and him walking off, and it's just such a brilliant moment. So I can go on and on. One little thing I love this issue. I feel like a lot of people love. I got mixed feelings. Swamp Thing should never have white eyes. Like it's the creepiest thing. But like yeah, this is great. There's some strong, great moments in this, but I do not want to. Everyone kind of talks about this one, which is well deserved, especially this panel and sequencing here, like, oof. I'm trying my best not to have the light bounce and glare off this, but man, the one I want to talk about though, is yeah, it's the following. Once again, striking cover, just amazing. The other thing I loved about this, Alan Moore changed the character, which I think in a lot of great ways. But one thing we lost, he was kind of limited in this, like in these versions. So like for him to get across from Europe back to Louisiana was a story, and they could have even played off this more and more and more. It could have been a whole thing. Especially, I love that demonic horse. Um, but it's interesting because he gets such great shots. Then it's him helping this sister and brother out. I forget their names. It's been a second since I've read this. Oh, and this is another cool thing. How do you keep, if someone's new to Swamp Thing, well, it's like, oh, we got to show the origin. We got to show how this happened. So yeah, it's this great moment, like retelling that first issue, and it's like we've never seen this, and that's such great iconography. Oh, no, don't push it. Then we got this, just great storytelling, great verticality. And this is the other thing that was kind of cool. This was DC in the 70s, so let's push the violence. Like he's not human, so we can cut off his arm. And it's one of those things like, oh yeah, this is like some great vertical, especially such camera out. This one I love. I almost wish there was like something like right here, something to like really make it look like we were like peering out like behind something. But just the shot of her being dragged by the citizens through the village, like so much fun. And like I said, every town looks like it's like 200 years old. Um, Striking imagery. Basically, they're blaming her to being a witch because they had a deformed child that has the same ailment. Like their whole family is cursed with this peg leg. And this is another great shot. I wish like Wolverine did this more, like a lot more comics where it's like him showing him regrowing his arm. Like I could almost have a whole issue of like him with that little arm. This is the other thing I love: the shadow work, especially because it's like you got such great acting and like and not moving the camera. These big on like these big bambos words. These big, I don't even know how to say it, like just this explosion. And once again, though, it's like this is the main panel. He does these quick little transitions. This one I love too because it's like her, and I feel like the classics to have like a wooden stake, but it's like something about a gnarly tree just makes it seem like even more primitive, more evil, like less like literally like they're caught up in the hype. And this page right here, the foreground like swamp thing in the background, just using. I love this though, that like pure blue with the background. Also, you never see a mob actually attack anyone. Like it's a rarity. It's always like they diffuse, but it's great to see them like, oh yeah, he's not human. This okay. I've been waxing on about like how great this is. This panel always makes me kind of laugh. It's so goofy looking. Like I know these are supposed to be like action twings. It looks like hair. Like I always, it's just a goofy looking swamp thing. But then you lead into this, like one of the most. Oh, I showed this off in the video. And the other thing I love, that purple like is such a classic witch. And just like this is the moment you're like, oh, she is, because it's been kind of hinting out like, is she not? But yeah, just that that action sequence, like yeah, him ripping out the tree, the deep roots. Then we got some great moments right here, Matt. Like, and what's interesting is that use of green right there is a bold. Like I don't know if I would ever do that, but such a bold choice. And it turns out she's not the witch. Her brother is. And like I said, it was a fun. I kind of wish we got more of these where it's just like Swamp Thing versus a monster. Oh, and this shot right here, like, oh my gosh, like the reflection of trees in a window and then having the other trees on the other side, like that is such a. I could not imagine doing that in black and white. I cannot recommend this collection enough. I wish we had more Wrightson on just comics. Oh, you know what? I gotta show this. I gotta show this one off too. I gotta wax a little. Yeah, we can't. I only said 2 issues. I forgot about this. So cover's cover. It's all right. Um, this though, this is the shot. That's a moneymaker. That swamp thing, oh, so gorgeous. Him fighting a bear, of course. And this feels like the fun comics moment where it's like, hey, how do we get your money's worth? But this right here, this is the real money's worth, where it's this old man like dying, and it's him remembering a bygone time, like a time that doesn't exist anymore. And just a shot of his face that dissolves into mm. So Swamp Thing's helping out the town. This is the other fun one. This is such a great tool. If you're an artist, I recommend this highly because it's the same shot, just separation of time. But it literally feels like everyone's kind of focused on themselves. No one's paying attention to the boy. It's and like I said, you get a great group shot, sense of scale, like of the town, like what's going on. So this moment hits a lot harder. What once again to the colors, because man, I would love to see the black and whites of this because this is just the colorist really has to make a choice of where the tree is. The other thing I love, he does these panels, which it's like we get a sense of like slowly zooming in. And what's great, this is a great moment to use in horror where it's like, hey, our character knows what's going on, we don't. Eldritch horror, don't get me wrong, some fun, crazy art, but not. I don't even. I haven't read of all Swamp Thing. I'd be surprised if no one came back to this. Um, it's such a great panel, or sorry, such a great cover. But yeah, this collection. Oh man, I feel like it's just me going like, look at that, look at that. And like I said, you can find Omar, Taylor, like a bunch of people have done the full collection. Oh, here's a little thing, and it's not. It's almost kind of crazy because we go from Bernie Wrightson to Nestor Redondo, who he isn't a bad artist, but he's not Wrightson. So it just doesn't hit the same. Like, there's a weird moodiness. And it's little things. Like I said, Swamp Thing should never have white eyes. But even like these worms, I don't know, just everything feels a little eh. And what sucks is, and these were written by Lin Wade. This one right here, I think this is an idea like he wishes Wrightson could have been on. It's these two characters, Swamp Thing and this guy, and they keep going throughout history and interacting with each other. I mean, like Swamp Thing versus lions. But it's the kind of thing they keep meeting in different times, and just interacting with each other. And it ends on such a great moment. It's like, and I think it's one of those like Wrightson wrote um, a story that he wishes that Bernie could work on. He never did. Then we get like great behind the scenes, especially like original art. And man, that patch, and especially all this is ink, just color holds. What's crazy is they don't even have the best page. Yeah, this is, I can't recommend this highly enough. The other thing I love about this collection, and I kind of wish more. Oh man, that cover. I wish more collections did this though. So like I said, man, I love these covers, these reprints. We got Bernie Wrightson with the dinosaur. I wish we got this story from them, but some sketches. This is what I wish we got more of though. Actual photos of the creators, because it's like you forget they're human, especially showing them throughout their career. But yeah, this is a collection, man, I cannot recommend highly enough. So yeah, if you got a chance, go get this. They do have an omnibus, but you got to get the absolute. It's the best version between the colors, everything you get with it. Yeah, so like I said, can't recommend this highly enough.